can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Kenny. Still got crack, they feeling. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like me. And I'm still trying to fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Make me put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like Kina. Ain't give a F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on the brand new Beamer. Trying to earn 8 stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a Keto. And expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque yo no entiendo. Mi gente must really need Jesus. They shed real blood. I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Y'all just talk, don't live it. And just took that route, that seen it. I'm so outspoken like Reason. Jimmy Neutron, boy, Young G's. And I'm a self-made man out of Sweden.
Welcome in. Happy week 6, everybody. If you're in the chat, say good morning. I am solo today as well, so it might be a little quicker stream. I still need to build some teams. Austin, good morning. Jelly, good morning. Scott, good morning. Sean, good morning. Austin, happy Jalen Tolbert day. Yeah, good little spot for Jalen Tolbert today. I do agree with that. True Love, good morning. We will talk injuries. I'll give out some bets. And answer all your questions. Matt, good morning. Dom Toretto, good morning. Mitchell, what's up? Jeff, CJ, need to bounce back. We're down in Columbus. Oh yeah, what a disaster last night for the Ohio State Buckeyes. I mean, look, how many times does Ryan Day have to lose a big game for him to? I don't understand how there's people that defend him, CJ. I don't understand. End of the day, nothing matters other than 1-7 against top 5 teams. That's the only stat that matters when it comes to Ryan Day. I mean, what are we doing here? You're at one of the 4 schools that demand excellence, and you're 1-7 against top 5 teams, and somehow you still have a job. It's insane. It's insane. Scott, South Carolina season ticket holder here. Rattler. Yeah, I like Spencer Rattler today. I thought he was going to be. So when I did the early look video or whatever it was, first look, RJ, good morning. When I did the first look, I kind of liked my team with Rattler. And then the more I thought about it, the next 2 days, I was like, oh man, he's probably going to be, super high owned. But as we've got to the weekend, I don't think he is. I don't think he's going to be overwhelming chalk in cash games. I think he's cash game playable, certainly. Anytime you get a $4,000 quarterback, they're cash game playable for sure. But I don't think he's going to be super high owned. So I'm probably not going to play him in cash, actually. I kind of like my team right now how it is, and I didn't need to go down to him. Melissa, good morning. So, I'm not going to play him in cash, but I think he's a good tournament play. I think you can do some pretty interesting things with your lineup if you use Spencer Rattler. So, yeah, I think he's a good play. Hold on, let me check something for you real quick here. Dewan, good morning. CJ, I was just typing 1-7. Yeah, it's just terrible, dude. I don't know what else to say about it, to be honest. Sinjin, like Dell today with Gonzalez shadowing Diggs. I actually think Gonzalez will be shadowing Dell because Tank Dell plays outside and Xavier Hutchinson would play outside, and I don't know. They've played Diggs inside more often than not, so I think Diggs will not be on Christian Gonzalez. I think Tank Dell will be on Gonzalez. Yeah, Dewan, good point. Like the video, please. Does help. Scranton Steve. Redraft full PPR Gibson or Olave? That's actually a tough question. Like, it's pretty crazy that we've got to that point. But yeah, I would probably play, oh God, full PPR. I would check I don't have my projections pulled up, but if it's full PPR, I would just check projections and play the highest projected one. I think they're really close. I don't have any Gibson on my teams right now, but I think he's a fine option, to be honest. I probably should consider him more because he's kind of right in that range where, you have, Bucky Irving in there who's going to be massively owned. You've got Tony Pollard in there that's going to be high owned. You've got J.K. Dobbins in there that could be owned. We have the presence of Austin Eckler in there as well. Like, there's a lot of guys in that range. I definitely think Gibson will come in after all those guys for sure. Tim, good morning. Wicks, Pittman, or Shakir? I don't think I'd play Pittman, Dom, just because I just don't know about the back injury. Like 4 days ago, he was going on IR, and then now all of a sudden, he's playing in the game. So I just don't think I'd play him. So it would come down to Shakir or Wicks. Gun to my head, I would lean Shakir. I just don't trust Wicks, really. He's been so elite at getting open. Like, if you look at separation stuff, he's been very, very good. And then he just drops passes. I don't know. Now you have kind of a more healthy situation for Green Bay this week, but I do kind of like the over in that game. I think there should be some offense in that Arizona-Green Bay game for sure. But I definitely would not play Pittman. I do not trust it at all. Alex, yeah, I'll give some bets out for sure. I agree, CJ. I agree he's in play for cash. I personally don't trust him for cash. So Ian Thomas, if you guys remember him, he's been out due to injury. He's back this week. So last week, Tommy Tremble goes out of the game, and then Jatavian Sanders runs a route on over 70% of Andy Dalton's dropbacks. But that was with Ian Thomas not being a factor. Now Ian Thomas is back. We know Ian Thomas is a very good blocker. So my concern is Sanders is going to struggle to get on the field outside of just very, very clear passing downs because they're going to want Ian Thomas in there to block. So I have a little bit of concerns, more so now than I did yesterday, because we got that news that Ian Thomas is back healthy and going to play. So I have some concerns with Sanders. It's probably fine just because you're hoping for like 5 points out of your tight end at this point. But I don't know if I would play Sanders in cash just because of that news. Yes, Engine. I like both of those guys in tournaments, Barkley and Henry. I think they're both good plays. I would prefer Henry, especially because I've kind of settled in on Lamar for my main tournament team. So I can just hedge my main team with playing Henry on some of my other teams. So I would pick Henry. Good spot for him. Touchdown favorite for the Ravens. He kind of ran bad last week. I mean, they ran play action from the 1 or 2 yard line 2 times. So he easily could have had a big game, bigger than he had, that is. So if I was picking one, Henry, but I like both of those running backs today. Cleveland's really struggled kind of containing the edge, and Philly's, the biggest favorite. What are they, 9.5 point favorites? Where are they at here? Yeah. Minus 8.5. So yeah, definitely both are good plays. I would lean Henry though, picking one of them. Otten is probably the lowest I would go for cash. Yes, CJ. John B, I love Will Levis today. I've been talking about this all week in my group chat with Matt, who normally joins the stream, and there's some other people in there. I was talking about Will Levis on Wednesday. No one was really feeling it. Like, they were acting like I was an idiot. And then now we've got to the weekend and they're kind of more interested. Like, I just think it's the same spot we've targeted all season. All season on this stream, we have taken quarterbacks against Indianapolis. We used Fields against him. He smashed. I was really high on Trevor Lawrence last week. He had his best game of the season. So, yeah, $4,800 Will Levis. I think he's a great play. And my favorite bet of the week, I put 2 units on it, was Will Levis over 192.5 passing yards. I thought that was an insane line. He's moved up a little bit. I think he's 200 now. Still think you could take the over on that, but just blatant disrespect here. I guess it's not disrespect because Will Levis has been terrible, but Indianapolis is such a weird situation. Like, they're so bad in coverage, and every single team they've played this season has exceeded their average plays. So if you look at the average amount of plays all these teams run in a game, every single team that's played Indy has gone over their average. So that's a really big factor for me for Tennessee, considering Tennessee is the second slowest team in the NFL outside of the New York Jets. They run like 42 plays a game. So if we can project another, let's even say 5, 6, 7 plays for the Titans today, that's a world of difference when you're talking about taking overs and props. And then just bake in, it's been a really, really good matchup for every single offense they've faced. So I think, I took the Titans team total over. I took Will Levis, like I said, over 192.5 passing yards. I think this is such a buy low spot for Calvin Ridley. He's been super unlucky if you look at the expected fantasy point to actual fantasy point data. Brian Callahan came out this week and was talking about how they need to get Calvin Ridley going, all this stuff. So you get a little bit of squeaky wheel narrative. I don't buy into that a ton, but it's encouraging to hear when you're coming into just the best possible matchup. And if you look at Indy, they've really, really struggled with outside receivers, guys like Nico Collins, George Pickens got loose against them. Calvin Ridley had success against the Colts last year when he was on Jacksonville. So I think it's a good spot for Calvin Ridley. I think it's a great spot for Will Levis. Agree. Maybe D Hop is a little bit more healthy off the bye, with that just heightens the upside on Levis as well. So yeah, 4,800 on DraftKings. I mean, you can make a really nice lineup. You just plug in Will Levis with one of his receivers. You don't need a run back with that, and you've not even used barely 10,000 in salary. And then you can kind of play whoever else you want around it. So yeah, I'm really, really high on that. I'm gonna play a Levis team on the early slate, and then I'm gonna play a Levis team on the main slate as well. Plus, I have that 2 units on his over passing yards. Pollard or Hubbard for FanDuel cash, Kevin. I think I would take. I think I'd take Pollard today. That's another reason. Speaking of that, you just brought up a good point there, Kevin. That's another reason why I like the Will Levis stuff today. Pollard going to be one of the highest owned running backs on the slate. I think it's a great spot for him. He's averaged over 18 touches per game this year, over a 20% target share for Tony Pollard as well. Like, there was kind of worries that Tyjae Spears was going to have a big role coming into the season. That has not come to fruition. So not only, Tony Pollard is in a great spot today and a great DFS play. So I'm going to be playing him on some teams, and then you just hedge all that with your Will Levis. Like, you can play one Will Levis team, you hedge all your Pollard. Like, it's just a perfect scenario today. So I do like Pollard too. I would play him over Hubbard in FanDuel cash. Indy's been very soft against the run too. Make no mistake. Like, their defense in general has just not been good this year. So good spot for the entire Titans offense today. Probably like one of the only good spots we'll see for them for the entire season. Kirk team, I don't have one. Mitchell, think it's fine though. I mean, all of the Falcons seem like they're going to be pretty chalky. So, I just I think it's interesting that all of his pass catchers are going to be chalky, but it doesn't really appear that Kirk Cousins is. I mean, quarterback ownership in a vacuum really doesn't matter, but yeah, if you want to roll a Kirk team with, even a double stack, you could use Mooney and London or something along those lines. I think that's fine. The reason I'm probably not as interested, I just really, really like Bijan today. I think this is finally the game that he gets going. I know we've waited for it all season, but I mean, this is exactly why I came on this stream last weekend and I said I really like DeAndre Swift. And we bet DeAndre Swift anytime touchdown last week. He scored. He should have had like 2 or 3, but that's besides the point. But Carolina is a very soft run defense, and they're still down their top 2 linebackers. Josie Jewell out, Shaq Thompson out. Like, this is a really big deal for teams, especially scheme-wise. Like, these NFL teams know and love to run on teams when they have linebackers out. And this is like the only 2 good linebackers that Carolina has on their roster. So I really, really think this is finally the Bijan spot. So that's why I'm not as interested in the Kirk stuff. But I mean, London and Mooney are still good plays. You can play multiple Falcons together in a small field lineup, and I don't think it's bad. So yeah, but I'm more on the playing Bijan than I am the Kirk Cousins stuff today. DraftKings Cash 4v4. Daniels, Ray, Ferguson, Bijan, Levis. I would not play Levis in Cash, CJ. I think that's a little thin. I think for Cash, you're going up to Daniels or Lamar, or you have Dak right there as well. I like Dak a lot today at home. That's going to be a fun game, I think. Man, I don't know. I'm a little bit worried for just kind of the outlook of the game. Like, Dallas's defense is so banged up. Detroit coming off a little bit of time off there. Like, they could really, really wreck Dallas defensively, but it should be a good game script for Dak. He's been really good at home. So I like him a lot today as well. Corey, so on the website, if you go to dfskarma.com, just roll over the and right there underneath the top bar there, you see pricing, props, projections, portal, core plays. Roll over core plays, click NFL core plays, and then that will take you to the landing page where my cores are posted. I don't have any posted yet. I saw Matt's team is up. I'll be typing my teams in after I end the stream. Jeff. Yeah, I think you could double Levis. I just don't like it would depend on the field size, I think. I play pretty small field these days. Like, I'm playing in field, like the tournaments I'm playing in, I'm going against 200, 300, 400 people. So I'm not going to double stack Will Levis on my teams just because I don't need a double stack to beat, 300 people. And it increases your ceiling, but it really, really decreases your floor when you do a double stack. So in a small field, I'm probably not going to do it. But at the same time, like, you can make the argument for both sides, because then at the same time, if you do catch the one offense that does good and most of the other ones fail, like, a double or triple stack could make sense as well. So you could play it both ways, but typically I'm not going to double in the stuff I play. If you're playing larger field, I don't hate a Levis double stack today, but I would probably just pick one of them and kind of go from there. Clinton Caps, Trey Tucker's fine in DraftKings Cash. Yeah, so Jacoby Myers got ruled out over the weekend here. So they're down Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers. I like Trey Tucker as a player. I think he's good. He's fast. They try to get him the ball in creative ways, right? Like, they'll give him a little jet sweep or a lot of bubble screens, stuff like that. And he can beat you deep. So I think Trey Tucker is objectively like a good football player. I think he's fine for Cash at his price with no Myers, but I will say it's a little bit of an unknown here. A, it's a really, really tough matchup against Pittsburgh. B, a little bit of an unknown with the team going from Minshew to Aiden O'Connell. Like, I kind of think Aiden O'Connell's a better quarterback than Minshew, like, right now. I thought that coming into the season. But O'Connell was not good in the preseason, so he, didn't win the job. But, we've seen Trey Tucker kind of have a decent little role with Minshew. Could be some unknown there with the team going to O'Connell, but at the end of the day, they really have nobody to throw the ball to other than Bowers and Tucker, and they should be losing or at least in a neutral game script. So, yeah, I think Trey Tucker's fine for Cash. I don't want to go out of my way to play him, but if I really like my team and I only have, enough to play Trey Tucker at my third receiver, I think it's fine for sure. Favorite defenses today for me, I think Buccaneers will be really chalky. So that's probably the highest owned. Obviously, you have Eagles there as well against the Browns. Like, that's probably the 2 high owned ones. Buccaneers are so cheap though, especially on DraftKings. They'll be really high owned. I like Titans as a pivot off them. Anthony Richardson seems to be healthy, but I'm a little bit concerned. Tennessee's very good at defending the pass, and specifically, they're very, very good at defending deep balls. That's really the only thing that Richardson can do at this point, run around and throw the ball deep. So, and we know he's on the same path as Will Levis. Like he will just throw just a brain dead interception. So I kind of like Titans as a pivot. I'm fine with the Bucks as chalk, or if you want to use Saints in that same game, I think that's an interesting way to look at it with the home team there. So yeah, those are kind of the ones I'm looking at. Robinson for 2, Barkley for 2. I definitely could see that. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I wonder what Mitchell, what does that pay out like on the books? Like if you bet that, I'm sure it's not crazy because they're both, minus 180 to score 1 touchdown. But just for curious, I'm wondering what that pays out. Jacob Waxler, thoughts on a parlay of Ridley over 43.5, Bijan over 66.5, CD 50 plus. Yeah, don't hate that at all. Think it's looks pretty good to me. That's something along the lines I would build, to be honest. I would probably just water it down though. Like just do Ridley 40 plus, Bijan 60 plus, CD 50 plus, just to be safer, I guess. But that sounds like something I would make personally. I would actually pick Johnson over Sanders at tight end if I had this salary, just because, like I said, I'm a little bit concerned with the Ian Thomas stuff. I just don't know how that's going to play out, and it's not that much of a price differential. At least I know Juwan Johnson will be on the field. I'd probably take the first one, CJ, in that combo. 20 to 1. Interesting. I don't hate that, Mitchell. I kind of like that, actually. 20 to 1. Might throw a little bit on that. Favorite tight end. Tight end is just so bad these days. I mean, it's just like, it feels like it gets worse every single day. Every week, it feels like it gets worse. It's actually insane. I think for cash, you play Otten or Ferguson, one of the two. I don't like spending up to 5K really at tight end, but it's just like it's just a wasteland. Like there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. So I think you play Otten or Ferguson in cash. Tournaments, don't hate Mark Andrews. Don't hate Zach Ertz if you're playing a game stack of that game. If you're not, Juwan Johnson's cheap. You can use him. That's probably my favorite, to be quite honest. Tight end is just so disgusting. I'm so sick of playing tight ends. I'm sick of tight ends and defenses. Yeah, automatic prop. I've been looking, Dom. There's a couple different ones I like. I kind of like Jacob Wax on the chat, though. Ridley 40 plus yards, Bijan 60, CD 50. What does that pay out? I wonder. Let me see. I'll plug it in here. Let me see. Let's pull up FanDuel Sportsbook and see. What are we looking for? Okay, Ridley receiving 40 plus. Where's that at? There we go. 40 plus. And then we've got Bijan 60 plus rushing yards. Someone probably, I'm not looking at my chat. Someone probably typed in what it pays out. So I'm just wasting my time doing this, but that's okay. And then CD 50 plus. Where are you at? Here we go. Plus 225. Interesting. 2 to 1 on that there. I don't know. I might play that, to be honest. How many Falcons is too many, RJ? Definitely think 2 or 3 is fine in cash. I'll probably be playing 2. If you want to play 3, I think that's okay. So here, man, I love CD today. I think he's a great play. Even if the Cowboys don't win the game, it's just a really good spot. And this feels like kind of we've been waiting for like a true big CD game the whole year. I think this finally is. I think it's finally coming today. Daniel Ingham, leaning running back or wide receiver and flex. I would play running back. I would be hard pressed, honestly, to play a cash team or build a cash team that did not have Bucky, Pollard, Bijan. I'm going to play those 3 guys today in cash and go from there. I'm going to plug them in and go from there. CD 60 plus, Godwin 40 plus. Yeah, I don't hate that. Oh, wow. So we just got news. Joe Flacco is starting actually here for the Colts today. Interesting. I think that just heightens the game even further. Like this just makes me like Will Levis even more. Yeah, that's good. That's even better for the pace of the game, to be quite honest. Ben, we need Swift. Yeah, we need DeAndre Swift to do something. Keenan Allen, man, I thought he was gonna do what Cole Kmet did today, but I guess that didn't happen. Do you like Downs or Flowers better today, season long? Yeah, that's a little different situation now with Flacco. I'm more interested in a run back for Levis, and I'm more interested. Man, I would probably go Zay Leroy, but yeah, I definitely like Downs more now with Flacco starting. Interesting. I need to look at my teams now. Like, so I don't know. Should I play a run back now on this? I don't know. I need to. Sun God is yes. I would play CD over him, but yeah, I mean, if you want to play him, I think that's fine. I would play CD though. Flacco loves Downs. Yeah, Stephanie loves him. Agree. And he's good. Like Josh Downs. I don't know if you guys remember. Like, man, the end of last year. I know they had like Minshew at quarterback. We were playing Downs a couple times. A couple of those small like week Saturday slates. I think we played Downs, and he was always open, and they just refused to throw him the ball. Like I think Downs is like a good player too, which helps out. Pollard, Bowers, or Hubbard, Ferguson for cash. I guess I'd lean the second one there, but I really would prefer Pollard to Hubbard. But yeah, I mean, getting Ferguson is nice at tight end. Brendan, yeah, I think so the exact question you just asked, I think that's going to be a very, very popular 2v2 today. So what I'll say is you have extra time to think about it, right? Because both those games are afternoon. Both those combos are both afternoon players. So you can wait until 3:45 or whatever to make a decision. I would lean towards the London Deontay side of that, but it is nice getting to Lamb. So Lamb Tucker, I would probably just wait a couple hours here, see how the early games play out. If you have anyone in the early games, see how they do. Like, obviously, you're going to have Bucky in that lineup, but if you have anyone else, like, just see how stuff plays out. I think that's going to be like the number one 2v2, though. London Deontay versus Lamb Tucker. I would lean towards the first side, I think. Probably give me London Jelly, but that's close. Yeah, I like Marv today, Mitchell, and Jaden Reed. It's a good spot for Marv. And Jaden Reed is just good at football, so you can play him every single time. I'll stay on for like a couple more minutes, like 30-minute stream today. A little bit shorter just because Matt's not here, and I need to build my teams out. I mean, I have some built, but I need to fix some stuff. And I need to figure out if I want to play a Colts person in this in my Levis team now. I don't know. I needed to play with some lineups. Hurts, Tucker, and Ferguson, or Lamar, Mooney, and Otten. Hurts, Tucker, Ferguson. I don't know. Like are people? Hurts is going to be chalk on FanDuel. I don't know. Like, are people going to play him on DraftKings? Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess, yeah. I guess they will. I think the first side of that will be more popular, RJ, to be honest. Oh yeah, upset of the day. Let's see here. I mean, I think New Orleans is live, to be honest. Like, Tampa's been awesome, Baker's been awesome, but this is still a tough spot, right? Like, divisional game at home. Like, New Orleans is certainly live to win. Dallas is live to win, even though I think this is like a nightmare spot for them. Like, Detroit's had some time off, and like Dallas is so beat up on defense. But I do think they're live. The Giants are live. The Jets are super live. Honestly, okay, favorite upset picks, New Orleans and the Jets. That's my two. The Jets are very live to win this game. In fact, I think the Jets will win this game. I don't know if I'll bet it, but I think the Jets will win. Favorite bets? Okay, yeah, Will Levis over pass yards. That's like far and away my favorite bet. Like I said, I took it at 192.5. I think it's 199.5 now. Let me check. I'll check for you. Let's see. But that was like far and away my favorite bet. Yeah, it's 199.5. Just take it 200 plus. If he doesn't throw for over 200 yards today, I don't know. So I really like Will Levis over passing yards. I like Calvin Ridley. Like if you want to ladder him up a bit, I like that. I really, really like Darius Slayton. That's in the game tonight. I will be betting Darius Slayton yardage ladder tonight. Really, really good spot. Cincy is very vulnerable in the secondary. Darius Slayton basically replaced Malik Neighbors 1-for-1 last week. He ran a ton of routes. He was the first read on 37% of Daniel Jones dropbacks, which is Malik Neighbors. Like they literally just substituted Darius Slayton in for Malik Neighbors. He went for over 100 yards and a touchdown last week. His prop is extremely low this week. I love Darius Slayton. So for bets, I like Will Levis over passing yards. I like Calvin Ridley over his receiving yards. I like Darius Slayton over and ladder that up to like 100. Like I love Darius Slayton tonight. So that's like my favorite bets for touchdowns. Bijan is 100% scoring, but he's really juicy. So you got to pair that up with something. I mean, Najee Harris remains due for a touchdown. I don't know if he'll ever score, but again, leading the league in touches by over 20 without scoring a touchdown. Pretty soft run defense today, so I think go back to the well with him. So yeah, I like Bijan. I like Najee. I think there was some other ones I like. Let me pull it up here. I've made like one parlay that I didn't even give out yet. I don't remember who I put on it. I mean CD or like Gibbs, like both in that game. You could definitely look at some stuff there, especially with how high scoring that should be. FanDuel Cash, Slayton or Pierce. I'd play Slayton, honestly, Kevin. I just think it's such a good spot for him. Yeah, 3 Dallas is fine. No problems with that. All right, thank you guys for tuning in today. Really appreciate it. If you have any further questions, tag me in the Discord. I'm going to go finish my teams and post them for subscribers. I already have some bets. I didn't take a lot of bets this week, but they're up in the Discord as well. I'll be taking some more stuff throughout the day, though, so be looking out for that. Like I haven't posted Slayton yet, but I will be taking his over yards and laddering that up. We made a little bit on college yesterday. Got super unlucky with meltdowns from like Ole Miss and stuff, but a little bit of profit yesterday. So thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. Good luck this week, and I'll see everybody for week 7.